Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us again today. This is Town Hall meeting number 43. Just want to jump in. A couple things. Our American Sign Language interpreters are not able to be here with us today, but for those who do need the assistance, they know to go to the settings on your screen and click on closed caption. We're trying out this technology that allows for closed caption to be built into the live stream. We're not going to rely on this for all of our town hall meetings, but we had a scheduling conflict today, and the sign language interpreters can't be with us. But I'm sure they will be with us at our next town hall meeting. So let's just jump in quickly to our dashboard, get you updated on some of that information. To date, 227,484 conducted COVID-19 related tests. We are tracking 192 active cases. Now that is starting to incline and grow. So let's be clear about this. We recognize we're going to continue to see growth. The good news is Dutchess County maintains a low positivity rate, and that we have seen no areas of major concern, but we are seeing the transmission of the disease among friends and family and individuals in close interaction with one another. That is going to happen. But in every case, we continue to monitor those, respond to those, and of course track those contacts. Now, I will say that we want residents to continue to engage in the basic guidance that we've been offered, right? It's the social distancing, the physical distancing, washing hands and personal hygiene, but also wearing a mask. And if you're going to be in any groups, even if it's going off to the soccer game with your kids, or maybe it was like Halloween, or what we'll all be doing for Thanksgiving holidays, keep the group small. Be sensitive to one another's health. If you're not feeling well, or you feel as if you may have contracted the disease, obviously it's not something you want to go out traveling. But again, the good news for Dutchess is overall we are not seeing widespread areas of concern. We are going to see incremental growth in total cases. That is going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to respond to those. So as I said, 192 active cases. Be prepared for that number to increase a little bit as we go forward over the next several days and weeks. We expect that. We are looking at 8 hospitalizations, which is relatively low. But earlier this week and into last week, we were at 10 and 12 hospitalizations. Obviously, we don't want anyone in the hospital because of anything, frankly, but because of this disease. But severity is not increasing, which is good, and it's something that we're going to continue to monitor. Now, sadly, we did have an additional death, and we are certainly sorry to that individual's family and friends for their loss. 166 COVID-related deaths. Now, the region remains at about 2.2% positivity. This is that transmission rate. New York State has now seen a regular incline, and it is expected again that is likely going to continue. So positivity rate in the region is 2.2%. Dutchess County is at 1.7%, which is relatively low. Last week we were the lowest in the region, and I think 0.7%. Our average 7-day positivity rate is the lowest at 1.2% in the region. And so we just want to be vigilant. I think I said this earlier at a town hall meeting, but we've been saying it as folks ask. We don't want people to be frightened, but we want you to be vigilant and considerate of one another's health, and continue to follow the guidance so that we don't see a massive increase or certainly severity in the disease. But right now, our numbers are, as I said, looking relatively stable with growth in active cases. Our Department of Behavioral and Community Health continues to respond. You'll see in certain cases, we'll tell you when there's a particular case that may have broad public health concerns. When there isn't, the team, the contact tracers, the staff at the health department, they move in pretty quickly with a positive case. They identify contacts. We identify and notify those contacts. We seek ask that they seek and stay in quarantine and isolation, and we manage it that way. If there's a widespread community concern, we're going to tell you that. And so far, we have not had major areas of concern. You're aware of the two clusters that we've referred to in the past. They are, as I said last week, they've kind of run the course, and we'll continue to respond to cases as they pop up. We want you to be safe, and as I said, to be considerate of others' health, your own health, and vigilant in adhering to those basic guidances. So last week, the state of New York, in fact, because of the rate of growth in cases, New York State wouldn't be able to travel to New York State, meaning under the state's guidance, New York State had exceeded its own precaution standards. So there is an updated travel advisory, and it starts with the hope that we would avoid non-essential travel between New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Vermont. So the immediate adjacent states. The goal is to limit that travel. And again, my advice to you is, if it's not necessary, we don't necessarily want to be traveling into areas where we could contract or transmit the disease. If you're not feeling well, it's not really the time to travel, obviously, for your own sake and the health of others. So the state has issued a new travel advisory. It is not as clear as we would want it, but let's talk a little bit about it. Travel outside of the region for more than 24 hours. So if you are planning to travel outside of New York State for a period of time of more than 24 hours, so if you're driving to Pennsylvania and coming back home again, no issue, same day, right? Back and forth. If you're going off for a business trip of some kind, you're out only for the day and you're coming back, no issue. The state expects, however, that if you are to travel outside of the state of New York for a period of time greater than 24 hours, the expectation is that you test within 72 hours before returning. So you're going away for 5 days for the Thanksgiving holiday. The expectation is before returning to New York, the expectation is not greater than, but sometime within 72 hours of returning to New York, you will have conducted a test, tested negative, and then you travel home. The expectation is when you travel home that you would quarantine yourself for 3 days, and on the fourth day, test again, test negative, go about your business. So, our advice to folks is to adhere to guidance, follow the guidance as best you can. If you're traveling and you're coming back from out of New York, or you have family that are coming in from outside of New York, it's always a good idea that they test. If they test negative, travel here before maybe going out and about or interacting perhaps with family members, especially those who might be vulnerable. You would encourage that they take another test on the fourth day of visiting, test negative, and they can obviously go about their business. The issue when I say we'd like greater clarity is because there's like this window, right? If you test within 72 hours of returning home from a location, or if you're traveling from outside the state and you're going to be here for 2 days and then travel back, you're not going to be here for the third day to get tested and then wait to the fourth day to get tested and then travel. So it's a little bit confusing. I would advise, and our health department would advise, if you're traveling, you want to be sure that you test negative before you visit family, and you want to be sure that you test negative before, perhaps if you're in groups and with people that you may not necessarily have felt entirely comfortable with, and I don't mean because of their personalities, but because of the possibility that they might be ill. The expectation is that that you will have tested negative before going about your business. That is the state's travel advisory. We'll continue to advise you so that you know that information, but wanted you to be aware of that change. So if you have questions, please write it in the comment section below the live stream. We'll try to get to a couple if you have any. I want to jump through some information that will be of importance to residents. The Dutchess County Office for the Aging, led by Todd Tancredi and his staff, will be conducting another senior drive-through flu shot clinic. It's a good time to remind folks of the importance of getting your flu shot. Again, this is your choice, but if you this would be the year to get that flu shot. It is more important than ever just to be sure that we're controlling transmission of the traditional flu, and of course not confusing the two illnesses and causing a situation where we might see growth in COVID-19 related cases. So flu shots are available, as you likely know, at your own physician's offices. And, of course, at local pharmacies and certain retailers like Walmart and Target. If you need it and don't have insurance or another opportunity, the Department of Behavioral and Community Health will conduct and does conduct flu shots by appointment on Mondays, and you can get that at duchessny.gov/flu, duchessny.gov/flu. Now, as I mentioned, Senior Drive-Through Flu Shot Clinic is scheduled for next Thursday, November the 12th. That is the other picture was the obligatory photograph of an elected official getting the flu shot, or at least what they told me was the flu shot. But on November the 12th is the Office for the Aging drive-through flu shot for seniors. This is at the former Arthur S. May School on Raymond Avenue in Poughkeepsie. Space is limited, but please call ahead and schedule to register at 486-2555. That's 845-486-2555. You can schedule for a flu shot, and that's administered by the Health Department in partnership with our Office for the Aging. William, will the testing site in Kingston reopen? It is not the expectation that that site will open. The hospitals and the state have wanted, obviously, us to maintain a certain level of testing. Those drive-through or drive-up locations are not expected to reopen because there are ample opportunities to get tested in other locations. So if you're interested in knowing where to be tested here in Dutchess County, visit duchessny.gov. Visit our website. You'll see the COVID-19 info tab, plus click on that, and then testing options will be available there as well. Vassar stopped testing. Vassar hospital tests. The drive-through test location is not available at Dutchess Stadium. It hasn't been for several months, but there is adequate access to testing opportunities across the county, and visit duchessny.gov for that information. C wants to know if you can still shop at Trader Joe's in Danbury. Well, the governor would say, please limit non-essential travel. But as we've said before, if you're safe, if you're responsible, there's really not some way to keep you from doing that. So the expectation is that you'd limit non-essential travel to adjacent states, but you can still travel to Connecticut. You can still go to Trader Joe's in Danbury, although I prefer if you go to Adams or one of the great Dutchess County businesses, keep your sales tax here. But if you go to Trader Joe's and you want to pick up something for me and my family, feel free. It can't be terribly expensive. That's a joke. You can still travel in those adjacent states, quite seriously, but limit it, and just be sensitive to your own health and who you're interacting with. And again, you'll be fine. The expectation from the state, as we understand it, is if there's travel from outside of New York, you're coming into the state, and you're going to be moving around, that you will have tested negative and not be at risk for transmitting the disease. If you're traveling off for a holiday and you're coming back, the expectation is that you will have tested sometime on the fourth day after returning, and that's actually not bad advice as it is. Sylvia is asking, is COVID testing free? Some of it is. It depends on your income, whether or not you have insurance. Insurance is to cover COVID-related testing, and of course you can reach out to duchessny.gov/coronavirus testing. Our health department can be of some assistance to those who have financial concerns, but you, in some cases, will pay for a copay. In other cases, you can qualify for no fee as it relates to testing. So if you have other questions, please write them on the in the comment section of the live feed. We'll get to as many as we can. I do want to mention Veterans Day, November the 11th, recognizing, of course, and giving thanks to those men and women who served our country, returned home, and continue to contribute to the benefit of our community and our nation. Dutchess County's Veteran Services Division is working hard to celebrate together Veterans Day under the circumstances. So we are organizing a convoy, countywide convoy, beginning at 9 a.m. We will meet at the Dutchess County Veterans and War Memorial in the Arlington area, the town of Poughkeepsie. So we'll meet there at 9 a.m. From that point at 9 a.m., we will conduct our inner loop convoy. So the towns, and you'll see it on the map, the towns, and we've distributed this, the towns serve the central core of the county from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. And then at 11 a.m., as is prescribed, we will reconvene at the War Memorial. We'll lay a wreath recognizing the men and women who so selflessly have served this country, give our thanks and appreciation to those veterans among us here in Dutchess County. And then we, at the close of that wreath-laying ceremony, will conduct the second leg of our convoy around the perimeter of Dutchess County. This will travel, the second convoy at 11 a.m. will travel from the town of Poughkeepsie south toward Beacon, and we will visit every town. We can't, I don't think, visit every municipality, meaning every village and hamlet, but we will visit every town, and we're encouraging municipalities, fire departments, and emergency responders to please join us for a leg or the entire time. So it'll be a great experience. The Memorial Day convoy went so very well, and this is a nice way for us to join together to recognize those men and women who have sacrificed in service to us. There are a number of other Veterans Day related events. You can find that information at the county's Facebook page and on our website, dutchessny.gov. And we'll be we'll be advising of those events that municipalities are holding. Again, keeping them small. We expect people to be vigilant and considerate, as we've mentioned in the past. Smaller groups, social distancing, wear a mask. And we'll be able to be together, celebrate this important holiday, and recognize the sacrifice of so many men and women for generations who have given in service to this country. And we're very, very grateful for that. Several events in Fishkill going on and other communities over Veterans Day. Again, visit dutchessny.gov for that information. I'd be happy to see you at one of those community events. We have had such a successful bingo run that we are continuing our Office for the Aging Drive-In Bingo, scheduled for tomorrow, November the 5th, at Stanford Recreation Park in Stanford, New York, Stanfordville. Please join us for that. Senior citizens get together, drive-in bingo. It's a lot of fun. We had a great response so far. And then again on Tuesday, November the 10th in Poquag in the town of Beekman. So November the 10th in Poquag in the town of Beekman. You can register at 486-2555, 486-2555. I hope you can join us. Our Parks Division has announced our holiday illumination at Wilcox and Bowdoin, correct? Or just Wilcox? Just Wilcox. I think it's just Wilcox. Although if you are a reader of the Poughkeepsie Journal, great history of Bowdoin Park and the Bowdoin home and family that has ties to Alexander Hamilton. Good read today. If you haven't read that, please do. But scheduled for the weekend of December 5th, so December 5th and 6th, our holiday illumination weekend, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Take a look. We've announced it today. We're inviting organizations and businesses to set up lights displays. We'll set up a lights display. It'll be a drive-through light display at Wilcox Park in the town of Milan. Hope you can join us. It'll be a lot of fun, and we're asking participants to come out, businesses, organizations, municipalities, to set up and really show off your light displays and your creativity. So if you want to join us, again, please visit dutchessny.gov. That information is also on the Facebook page. If there are questions, please write them in the comment section below the live stream. I'm happy to get to a few more. I do want to mention This is a long time coming, and we'll show you a little video at the end of the town hall. But we are proud to announce the opening of the Harlem Valley Rail Trail. So many people for generations have invested in getting this rail trail expansion from Dutchess into Columbia County underway. And the rail trail extension is now open. There's a section that is closed. You'll see it. But in the meantime, most of it is open and accessible. We obviously aren't going to organize a formal event this year, but springtime next year, we'll take an opportunity when it's totally complete to get it open and celebrate with all of you. But please take advantage. The Harlem Valley Rail Trail is just a beautiful, beautiful linear park here in Dutchess. Oldest rail trail. It also weaves its way through eastern Dutchess County, now connecting to Columbia County. Grateful to the Department of Public Works, or Parks Division, our friends in the Harlem Valley, in particular in the town of Northeast and village of Millerton, the Harlem Valley Rail Trail Association, and even our friends at the Department of Environmental Conservation in New York State worked with us to get ourselves organized and get that project underway. Melissa, thank you. I don't know that I'm blaming anyone. I just try to give you what information I can. With all due respect, I don't always agree, as none of us should, with every decision the state of New York makes. Frankly, the state of New York needs to hear from us when there are issues that we might disagree on. We're very grateful for the relationship we have with the state. There are certainly lessons to have been learned, and we are going to continue to push up against decisions that, quite frankly, sometimes we just don't have the support or information. And so Melissa wants me to stop blaming the governor. I don't know that I blame the governor, but my job is to represent the people of Dutchess County. And there are times where we're going to and have disagreed. There's times where there's going to be clarity. Had a great meeting this week regarding some budget issues that the state of New York is pushing down at the county governments. Just not a time to simply agree. I don't know that that's what's expected from anyone. Respectfully, it's certainly not something that I do blindly. I take an oath too, and my oath is to uphold the laws, the Constitution, the Charter here in Dutchess County, State of New York. And when those two things don't align, and what I believe and our professionals believe is not in the best interest of Dutchess, we say so. And when it is, we do, which is why I think Dutchess County has been a great partner to the state, and we've also provided real good guidance. In fact, many of the reopening guidances that the state of New York used for small businesses, we actually wrote, and our business team worked with the state to develop those. So I appreciate the criticism. I welcome it. But as I've often said, and my wife doesn't like when I say it, I love my wife, but we don't agree all the time either. I can assure you I am respectful, but there are moments when we just have to express our concerns, and I think that is the right thing to do on your behalf. Kelly, how's contact tracing going for Gayhead Elementary School in East Fishkill? Contact tracing is going appropriately. Again, if we feel that there is a case that provides for broader public concern, you're going to hear about it. Wappinger Central School District responded appropriately to a case. There was some contacts that were identified, and if I remember correctly, the school, I think, closed in accordance with basic guidance, did the disinfecting, and then proceed forward. And that's going to happen. And I do want people to be aware, simply, again, and I think you know this, there are going to be cases, they could be in public settings or private settings. Some will have very few contacts, some will have many. If there are those that have broad contacts, if we don't feel as if we have appropriately or been able to contain or identify those contacts, we're going to say to the public, as we did with, for instance, I think it was a business some weeks ago, didn't feel we had a good enough understanding of who came into contact with a potential case. We announced it. It was in the newspaper. Told people if you had some interaction with this business, you want to be safe, you want to be tested. That's the kind of announcement necessary in order to assist us in that contact tracing and containment of the disease. If we feel as if there's a clear expectation or understanding as to who's been contacted and who might be at risk for transmitted disease, and we feel as if it's been contained, then there isn't a broad announcement. Rather, we'll communicate directly. And so there will be cases, in particular at schools. We're not seeing widespread transmission And as of yet, we've not seen an area of concern, but there are going to be cases. Those cases are going to have contacts, and those contacts may very well transmit and contract the disease. But again, the health department's been working aggressively with our friends at the state of New York to trace and respond to cases. And that, I think, has shown out in our numbers. We're seeing good. I shouldn't say good. Our data is promising, but I do want people to be prepared. We do expect, with the change in temperatures, with folks obviously moving indoors, with us getting a little fatigued by the whole thing, by the pandemic, and not necessarily all wanting to follow those expectations, we're going to see the transmission. So be vigilant. Let's adhere to those basic guidances: small groups, social, physical distancing, wear a mask, personal hygiene. And we'll continue to have that low transmission rate and contain the disease. So, Stephanie, are the active cases including numbers of people exposed or only positive cases? Great question. As is the case, active cases are positive cases only. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know who's been in contact, but anytime anybody who comes into contact with somebody who has tested positive, ultimately tests positive, they become an active case. So that 192 is only and remains is only active, confirmed, positive cases, which is good in that it is a stabilized number. But I expect that it will incrementally grow, and you should be prepared for that. But at the same time, we are doing an enormous amount of work conducting the contact tracing. And so if you test positive, you move from being a point of contact to an active confirmed case. You'll be reflected. That would be reflected on the dashboard, and that information would be available to you. So try to get to a couple more. If we have questions, just write them down in the comment section below the live feed. The Dutchess County Legislature will begin review of my proposed budget for 2021. We'll provide you some additional information, but if you visit duchessny.gov, you can find that budget information for your review. There's town hall meetings, a few virtual town hall meetings that you might want to be aware of. You should know our budget cuts spending about 3%. It's a reduction of $18 million. We have shrunk the county's total workforce by some 130 to 140, I think it's about 140 positions with no layoffs, bringing the active workforce to the smallest it's been in generations, and no tax increase. In fact, a very small tax levy decrease, but a reasonable reduction in the county's tax rate. And we're focused on a lot of priorities, using technology, being more creative and innovative in the delivery of those services. Bear with us as we continue to work to advocate for federal aid, to push back against any additional cuts in state assistance, and provide services that residents expect from us. But visit duchessny.gov for budget information. Our town hall meetings, 3 of them. Since becoming county executive, prior and not inclusive of these 43 town hall meetings we've had, we have held over 100 town hall meetings countywide over the course of 8 years. So now we're in the 150 range if you include these and the 43 town halls that we've had related to COVID-19 response. We're scheduled for Tuesday, November 10th at noon, Thursday, November 12th at 8 a.m., and Thursday, November 19th at 6 p.m. So look for those. Again, those will be opportunities to tune in, learn a little bit more about the budget, and ask any additional questions. If you have a question, write in the comment section below the live stream. Happy to get to as many as we can. I do want to thank voters. Yesterday was Election Day, if you didn't already know, and we are very grateful for your patience during Election Day. Hats off to the Board of Elections staff and election inspectors who come together to staff over 100 poll sites across Dutchess County. And so very very important and grateful to all of them for their work. Yesterday, as we've said before, was very heartening in a lot of ways. Enormous voter turnout all across the country, certainly the same we saw here. I hope that we sustain that into local elections. We don't often, but we will have seen massive voter turnout yesterday, which is a tremendous thing. It's just a great exercise of the American republic, the American Republican democracy, and we should all celebrate that. Now, obviously, local elections were on the ballot along with the national elections. I'm going to say this: please be patient. This is an ordinary process. Most of the races locally will likely have been determined without much change when absentee ballots are finally counted. But the process in New York is very much, the process in every state is very similar. In New York at 9 p.m., those polls close. That's the last time you can cast a ballot. If you were in line at 9 p.m., you would have been allowed to vote. If you decided to vote via absentee ballot, that absentee ballot needed to be postmarked by Election Day and returned to the Board of Elections. It still can come in. Interesting, just as a tutorial, right? So even though postmarked is Election Day, it still can come in for the Board of Elections as long as it's postmarked on Election Day. Your vote is then considered valid. Obviously, it's checked against signature and address and that sort of thing. There are rules that the state legislature establishes, but assuming that ballot came in, those absentee ballots have not yet been counted, which is not unusual. And so whether it's here or some other state, absentee ballots in New York don't get counted, quite frankly, until a day or two, in some cases several, after Election Day. So paper absentee ballots will be counted. They have not necessarily started that process. So they validate those absentee ballots. New York state law requires that they not begin that process until Election Day concludes. The boards of elections across New York will validate those absentee ballots, and then they'll start counting them, and they'll be added to the numbers you already see online. The same is true in other states, and that's going to happen all across America. So be patient. I encourage anyone whose name has been on the ballot to be patient. The process is the same. There are always going to be lawyers, and there's always going to be laws to follow, but the process is very basic. Absentee ballots come in. The boards of elections basically stop and prepare for counting those absentee ballots. In some cases in states, they started that process, but again, in most states, in most places, they're counting through. They're bringing those paper ballots. They're scanning them in. As somebody asked earlier, I just would reference, if you sent in an absentee ballot, which you can do in New York State, but then decided to show up in person to vote, your in-person vote counts, your absentee ballot is disqualified. So that would explain in other states and other locations from time to time you'll see that, right? There's, let's say, 100 absentee ballots came in from people who actually voted in person. Yes, those absentee ballots will be discarded. That's how New York does it. That's how other states do it. And so be patient with that. The process is underway. We'll keep you posted, but at the end of the day, a very exciting election process, and very exciting to see so many people engaged in it. And we're grateful for your patience as this process plays out. Be patient and happy to try to provide you with information we can. In Dutchess, on the back of the ballot was a referendum question. This establishes an independent reapportionment process. So ordinary citizens will draw the lines for Dutchess County legislative districts. This passed overwhelmingly. So if you're interested in being considered for the Independent Reapportionment Commission, visit dutchessny.gov. You can sign up. I think it's actually dutchessny.gov/draw-the-lines. If you visit that website, you can sign up. My job is to collect as many names as come forward. Anyone who qualifies can't have been a party or an elected official or worked in government. I provide that list of all of those people who have applied to the county legislature. The Republican members of the legislature select 2. The Democratic members of the legislature select 2. And then those 4 individuals, 2 selected by each party, those 4 individuals select 3 more from the list of people who applied. So if you want to be considered at all, you've got to go online and sign up now. We have till the end of the year, but to sign up. Leonard asked, increase in sales tax before lower revenue? No. Dutchess County sales tax is established by a vote of the legislature, established under New York state law. We are not seeking any increase to any tax or fee in the county budget. I recognize that it would be easy to do that, and I note that there are other governments who are doing that, simply adding costs to taxpayers. We do not believe this is the time to do that. So under the circumstances, we have built up as strong a financial condition as is possible. We came into this crisis as strong as we can. The challenges remain great, but financially speaking, we are going to weather the storm together. So that means shrinking the size of the county government. It means making it more effective and efficient in the delivery of services, smaller workforce, less spending, but we will not pass any additional burden to taxpayers across Dutchess County. We're just not doing it, and I'd offer it'd be nice if some other layers of government did the same. If there are no other questions, we are going to close up today. We're going to see you next week, and we have a little video opening up the Harlem Valley Rail Trail. Hope you enjoy it. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind to each other. Welcome to the Harlem Valley Rail Trail. We've been through a lot these last several months, and people have come to enjoy nature and outdoors in ways that perhaps we took for granted in the past. But this brilliant 23-mile rail trail, now extending into Columbia County, weaves its way from village center to farmland and open space. And it's just a true reminder of the remarkable place we call home.